Alrighty then, gamers, what's up? It's that time of the week again. Now, for the next 3 or something like that hours, we are rolling out the next edition of Bounty Hunters. The following show matches are going to be played in a video game you might be familiar with, Guilty Gear Strive, and the format of the evening is first to 7 wins. As per usual, the fights tonight are crafted with skill-based matchmaking in mind, for that sweet old excitement factor maximization. I'm your regular dumbass on the microphone, QK, and now, before we get the show on the road, let's take a quick peek at what we have in store for tonight. So we're starting with a matchup where we had a very last-minute stand-in here, Kitty jumping in to play against Tibisu's Venom. Hopefully that's actually maybe I should message Kitty at this point, because it was a little uncertain if she was good to play tonight, but hopefully so. Then after the first slot, we're revolving into some very high-level territory. Initially, so this will be the first time Anarcat enters the fray, and initially I had some difficulties finding a worthy opponent. I had to go through some of my sources. In the end, found Tomi to be raring to go and willing. It's gonna be a very high-level match where we have Zato. And who is not excited about Zato? After that, we've got some regulars versus newcomers. It's back-to-back Jeleshk and JeanTesla showing up on Bounty Hunters for the first time. Their opponents, respectively, are going to be LagBoy Biken and Jalis Dizzy. Following up on that Dizzy matchup on the 5th one, hopefully, I think Metadona was another player who had a relatively tight schedule, so it's gonna be left to be judged if we can play this match in the end, but would be a very interesting matchup. Again, Zato, Dizzy, 2 characters not really at the top of the meta, and that's why it's gonna be super interesting to watch if we do get to see that. And then finishing up the evening with some high-level play again, Detada and Leif. Those two, I think, is it just me, or have we had a lot of like Bedman matches recently? It's like Bedman versus another zoner. I feel like we've had Bedman versus Prison a couple of times before, but I mean it's QK memory, so yeah. Okay, so we got confirmation that Thunder Kitty is ready to play, so we can circle back to the slot number 1 and call the players in. So yeah, we had a couple of different options how this could be played as we were sort of gauging what skill level of character should we set up against Tibisu. And Kitty has a couple of different alternatives for sub characters. In the end, we did settle to Nagori Yuki. So two characters that can play similar ranges but can, or rather will play completely different. Nagoriyuki starts with a lot of momentum at the very start, that blood bar open and ready to skip the neutral. On the other hand, it is not the easiest thing in the world to skip neutral against Venom. It has never been, because Venom controls a lot of different angles, usually controls the horizontal grounded vector really well, which is kind of the vector that the Nightless characters, both Slayer as well as Nagoriyuki, are sort of glued to, or rather their sort of unique movement tools cover that angle very well. And if that is closed, well, it's often tough. But luckily Nagoriyuki has that nice little tool called Clone, which you can follow up with Fukyo. Costs a lot of blood, but it can force you into a position where you RPS basically, can I get in? If you do get in, then this character certainly is not done after that, even if your blood goes pretty high. It's an extremely volatile matchup that no doubt Venom would love to control, but how much can you maintain that control? It's a very, very familiar story in Guilty Gear Strive that you're just trying to contain some of the nastiest beasts of your nightmares that you could ever think of in order to try to gain like some semblance of control of the matchup. And the roles in this one are gonna be pretty clear. Nago is probably the beast, and then I guess Venom is the beauty, or at least the control character who would love to see Nagoriki go high blood, neutral, far away. In those kind of positions, it gets a little bit easier to control the flow of the battle. In fact, it gets very easy if you are a really strong zoner. So there are characters like Venom, Testament, characters like that who can really get their game, or rather can sort of run their game plan and maintain that game plan very easily, as Nago just doesn't have the same tools available anymore to close in on you with that sort of limited mobility. We got Kitty on the way soon-ish. Had to finish a ranked match. Get moderately warmed. Very, very important. Representing the Norwegian side of things. Tibisu hailing from France. We got a lot of French players tonight. I think at least 3 on the roster again. So a very strong evening for Team France. I think like this, the most amount of French people tonight on the roster is usually it's like either the Finnish people, the French people, or the UK people competing for the top amount of slots on the roster. Okay, I think we have Kitty, and I think we can get things started here on the first match of the evening. Nago Gaming. And when this beast is on the screen, there is no doubt it is usually gonna be explosive and interesting to watch, no matter the skill level. Like when you enter, load into the match, you see Nago on the other side of the screen, or rather close to you. I mean, it would be nice if he was on the other side of the screen with the empty blood bar open, but no, you kind of start very close, and there are a lot of tools that Nago can fire up from the round start position, or not. Or not, maybe he just does nothing for a good 5 seconds. That can happen too. This is fighting games after all. Oh, there we go with the clone Fukyo. On the first blood burn, you're probably gonna see Kitty reaching for that tool quite a few times. Ooh, that was a nice trade for Kitty. Able to get a somewhat of a hard knock, or I guess a soft knockdown, but to be able to push your Oki is the most important thing. Now on the other side, from Tibisu's point of view, you're gonna see this gameplay quite a bit, trying to sort of hold those trajectories. Ooh, what was it? I think still got the level 3 slice here with the 5 heavy. Making sure that we're not ramming into the Dark Angel, but the Dark Angel is gonna do quite a bit. Goes for the jump D on the overhead. Here comes Kitty though. Are we gonna pop? Or more importantly, or maybe not so much if Tibisu noticed. Is of course very important to. Oh, started with a 2K there. What did that catch? They caught a heavier button from Kitty, right? The very end of the blood bar again, that makes your pokes reach very far, but makes you extremely immobile. And that is a problem. You would love to you would like to get like a normal dash amount of progress towards Venom, but he ain't gonna give it to you, is he? a lot of the time. Got them low into a B&B combo. The last Q5 doesn't quite hit, but it's okay. We're still working with a very nice knockdown. And with that life left, Kitty is gonna yield on the first game. Opening it up on that Venom. Control maintained so far. I think the first game there was really no point where Tibisu really was in a super dangerous position. Kitty did get in a couple of times, but there are ways of reversing those positions. You got your universal resources, tension for guard cancels, you got bursts, and that kind of jazz. You really do have to rely on those tools though, on characters that are mainly about the long-range control. On the other hand, Kitty here forced to pay the price, use the burst. Oh, able to get the 2K in there as Tibisu was trying to tap that 5D. Again, the Abare, just sensing there is some sort of tomfoolery going on. Goes on, pops close range. The close slash unfortunately turns into far slash. It's okay. Tibisu follows it up. It's a very common thing that can happen. The sort of the proximity activation range for close slash buttons in this game different between characters, from character to character. Some activate further, some activate a little bit far closer. Going into Clone Fukio again. That's a big RPS win. It doesn't look too fancy, but when Tibisu manages to weather the storm, or rather prevent the Nago player coming in with a Clone Fukio, that means a lot of blood was spent. And that's a lot of blood that you subsequently don't have to deal with afterwards. However, Kitty has been able to equalize the situation, get them with a jump K into a really nice juggle, and a super on top of that. This should be like the first time Kitty actually manages to threaten things here. Hard knockdown with 50 tension in the tank. Tibisu has the burst, but this isn't looking like the best position to use it. But with a safer bet, go to the other round. That was a DP, right? The 2D from Tibisu, able to get there before the 10 frames that I think Nago's DP takes to start up. Very important amount of frames to know. That was a really interesting 6P from the backside. No cancel there on the Beyblade, which means you are minus, is it 2 or 3? And the 2P mash there. Back to full screen. Oh, that's a big blood burn. Immediately burning the wires and immediately counter. Kitty had 100 meters, so not gonna get punished here. 6P still, keeping Tibisu in the corner, and this is a very nice spacing for Nago Ryuki. This, regardless of how much blood you have available. Of course, corner position really nice to keep with level 3. And in fact, if you are level 3 on Nago Ryuki, then you would much rather, or most preferably, see your opponent back against the corner. But even like level 1 or even like a fresh blood bar, it's an okay position to have opponent in the corner. I mean, it rarely is a bad position in fighting games to have the opponent in the corner, huh? Couple of balls, not only one, but two. Here we go, couple of double shots. And that damage does end up mounting on the long run. A lot of these double shots that Tibisu got in, so not only one ball, but two balls. Ooh, Tibisu hit a button though. No, again, the same situation as earlier. Kitty still goes for the burst, believes in the power of the superior position, but very little resources available, although we do have the blood, which is, I guess, generally the most important resource. Finds a close slash counter hit, and the fate was gonna pop as well. Doesn't matter. Kitty believes in the position. You get your opponent into a tough one, and I think it was sort of like a judgment call based on how many resources Tibisu had left as well. So thought that there was really no easy way out, so the burst was justifiable. Now this horizontal X-axis is gonna be locked here. Jump B to bring them back into the Dark Angel. But now the blood burn. Ooh, I think this might trade. Definitely not in Kitty's favor. Can't take the ball, don't even have to. That was a kill. Ooh. on that level 3 blood. Nago does take extra damage depending on the blood level after all. It's good routing there for Tibisu. Understanding that that was gonna be a kill. Oh, but the level 3, speaking of that level 3, that 5 heavy reaches mighty far. So if you do manage to get like a couple of character lengths progress on Venom, then that 5 heavy becomes an RPS option. You can no longer summon balls for free. The blood burn here, we have the opponent where we need that. That's a counter hit. Can we pick up? Not quite. The 6 heavy slightly too short, but still in a good place. Couple of hiccups there, but we've played online fighting games before. A couple of hiccups ain't gonna stop us. Kitty procuring another round. Hopefully this problem doesn't persist though. Checking the chatter on the Discord side. The players do recognize that there was some jittering there at the end there, sending the Beyblade right off the bat. Counter hit. Yeah, definitely worth a burst. That's a very good starter for our samurai. Alright, got them with the stray buttons again, level 3, so basically impossible to push Nagoriyuki to a position where 5 heavy is not an option when you are working with a range like this as Nago. Even with the high blood. Precise tap there on a far slash on Nago's DP. Very ballsy. Scrape him off the wall. Looking good so far, almost half of the life gone, but Tibisu, as you might imagine, and as you have seen, ready with the 6P, always on the lookout on bounty hunters, and probably otherwise as well. Quick 2P tap prevents Nago's pokes going online, but Kitty spending everything in order to maintain. In the end, catching the backdash. Now Tibisu in a life disadvantage and getting pushed back into the corner by Kitty's burst. Oh, we got the counter hit. Picks it up as well. Very nice, very nice. Generally not a conversion that would lead into that much, especially when you're dry on blood, I reckon. But with a counter hit conversion, we can definitely make funky things happen. Beautiful things. Instant air dash from the get-go. Tibisu taking a slightly different approach here. One thing for sure, even if you are a strong zoner, at the start of the round when blood is available, you have to stay mobile. Because if you stay sitting bird on the ground, this might happen! The clone Fukyo bird. Probably the public enemy #1 when you're playing this matchup as a zoner character. Here it comes again, but the perfect distance has been maintained by Tibisu. Yeah, there are matchups where you're probably the most scared about the Beyblade, but I think this is one of those matchups where Beyblade not necessarily the tool that gets Nagoriyuki the most value, because it's really hard to move yourself to a spacing where it actually matters or where you get the RPS realistically. You do get caught on those balls after all, especially if they're close to the ground, which makes the clone Fukyo a little bit more reliable, I suppose. It certainly ends up getting the bang for your buck that you're looking for. It costs a lot, but it also does a lot, cleaving through all of those projectiles. Once again, the round start works out for Tibisu. Oh, the 2K2D slightly too far there on the 2D. Sweep whiffing. Are we busting? No, no. Busting wouldn't make us feel too good. Despite the old Ghostbusters songs you might have heard of. And now Kitty just locked onto those standard jumps and super jumps. The super jump tends to be the go-to approach tool that you can RPS with as Nagoriyuki, as your blood bar is full. But yeah, it's a very slow startup and very predictable trajectory. So if the opponent is not committing into anything currently, we get the pop here. Oh, but the ball saves! Ball saves Kitty for now. Big 2 heavy swipe, that's maximum damage, and now we have full blood bar to work with. Good check there on the forward Fukyo. You absolutely have to check them Fukyos as some of them do say. And then with a clean 2k 2D, Tibisu has been able to even out the score, back to 3-3. Looked like Kitty was building some amount of momentum there very early into the set, but back to even point, not the square one though. We played 6 games so far, and that amount of data that you've gotten from your opponent plays a very integral role in these long form kind of fighting game sets. Now again with this problem, level 3 uses clone, but even if that clone did find its mark, I think with the amount of resources Kitty had left, that could have potentially been just a pop. Started with a 2D again. Oh, goes a little bit too close. The timing for the meaty is not quite there. Okay trade for Tibisu. Able to get some real estate here. Break on the throw, and again the jump into jump K. Powers through with a clone. RC as well. This is a lot of blood spent. This trajectory ain't gonna work for Kitty, so forced to take the Dark Angel. Takes the mix-up in the middle as well. This is the ender there. Gets an OTG. It's okay. From that range. Oh, but hold on. The single slide forward with the 5 heavy. Unfortunately, not quite enough. Leaving Kitty with just a little amount of life left. And if you can't burn blood, tough spot, absolutely tough spot. Ooh, that's a lucky turn of events. Normal jumping straight into a close slash, forcing Tibisu the burst very early. It's like one of the few, but like even though you kind of would love to save your burst as a kind of tool that guaranteed puts Nagaryuki at high blood, sometimes you just can't afford to do that if you take like the biggest starter on the building block, such as close slash or that 6 heavy counter hit that we just saw. Look at the blood though. Here comes the pop. Oh no, Tibisu didn't notice. That's a tragedy. And Kitty is gonna run away with the counter steal. Technically, if you're looking at the blood bar, you can just be like, okay, I ain't moving anywhere. You can't do anything about it. So as long as I don't extend myself into the blood pop, all is a-okay. Right, that's Nagaryuki matchup for you. Not only do you have to keep your eye out on your own resources, but also Nagaryuki's resources, maybe more so than some other characters. Using the Wild Assault here to secure wall break. Tibisu still untouched here in terms of life. Oh, but that's a big touch, unless we didn't quite get the conversion. Kitty on the hunt still, 100 in the tank. Next hit is gonna be probably lethal, as long as it's not a throw. Even a throw kills at this point, I think. The break with the wire C's, and oh, does this hit? If this actually connects, it's a sour spot, so it doesn't lock into the animation, so Kitty can't save herself. Interesting interaction there, but we still go on. Very little life left both sides. Immediate burst from Tibisu. Fighting Tooth and Nail for that set. Tooth and or Nail for that set. Lots of stuff happened, and Kitty just couldn't justify bursting there anymore, I think. Or I mean, technically could have, but didn't have to. Because now we go into this round with Kitty having an absolute lead there. Close slash trade definitely in Kitty's favor. Pushes Tibisu into a disadvantageous position. The jump is anti-aired. The 5 heavy afterwards though. This is level 2 though. Still some blood to spend. And the heavy swipes are gonna drain decent amount of blood. And the bite is gonna drain even more. We're going straight laughing into the blood bank. Yummy, yummy. Started with the jump, however, very slow kind of a jump, not even an air dash. So if you don't take too big of a risk there on Venom side round start, you can probably recover into a successful anti-air like Tibisu just did. No blood spent so far, but a lot of life has been drained from Kitty's bar. Let's see if we can get the counter drain here. Breaking the wall again. No, again, it looked like kind of a sore spot hit there for Venom as well. Or maybe it was an OTG, that's why the wall didn't break. Again, same round start, but Tibisu again is not whiffing any of those hard commitment buttons. I forget how fast Venom 2D recovers, but maybe Was it 2D that Tibisu has been using? He's been whiffing and then being able to steal anti-air. Yummy. And now we have all the party options open. We're spending here. Kitty with a good combo and a good reaction there. Canceling into the super. Absolutely beautiful. As long as you don't have... As long as you haven't locked yourself into a special move already, you definitely can make the transition into the super. Stingers once again. The double shot. Bouncing balls with a ricochet in the all the right places, or all the right places for her pleasure. Using the jump D to stall in the air to not give Tibisu the easiest landing recovery punish. Dark Angel getting big value again, finding a 2D tap into overhead, into read the burst, into we take the lead. Very tightly packed sequence of good reads there by Tibisu. Taking the lead again, but let's see for how long. Instant air dash with the side of Venom here. Blood burn. Yeah, burst into relatively high blood. This is not the worst position to be in. You still have one bar open, yet you are in level 3. And with that level 3, Kitty was able to get the maximum range 5 heavy swipe there, which basically sealed the deal for Tibisu. I mean, I guess it's not the max level. There is also Blood Rage after level 3. But technically, as big of a reach as humanly possible without taking huge risks. I mean, I guess when you're playing Nagoriyuki, your every decision is a risk of some sort when you are sort of a character like this. Oh, that was a cancel into Q5, I think, so that's gonna be cleaved by Shizuriyuki. Blood coming back, so Kitty has options here. Checking with a 2S. Tibisu staying very patient and then gets a jump out. I think this is his jump startup animation here. Looking like an okay angle, but still not quite able to... Yeah, it's kind of like when you don't have a double jump, you don't have an air dash. Your jump trajectory is so predictable that there's like no RPS to be had here. Same thing again. Yeah, there's... Ooh, never mind here! The timing is the factor for Kitty to get out of there, but not to get out of the woods. Tibisu follows it up and finds the touch. The blood burn. The initial clone actually didn't ring as a hit, but then in the follow-up situation, Kitty able to follow it. Oh, okay. We get the gold burst here. That's a positive bonus. And that's another one breaking the wall. Tibisu's quite far away from the burst, so Kitty spending a lot of meter. Sorry, a lot of blood. 6 heavy. Tried to go for the FRC 6 heavy there. And then powering through with that clone. Fukio again, the classic. Heading into the championship rounds here. 5-5. I couldn't have asked for a better set myself, considering this was on a very, very short notice. But we're gonna have a spectacle. So using the 5 heavy to vacuum Kitty back into the mix-up. Tries to go for the throw. However, Kitty already backing out of there. Oh, the throw is coming. Can't unfortunately stop it, but still maintaining the position here. Kitty not able to fight out of there. Spending blood again. That's a lot of blood spent. I think that's a pop, right? Tries to go for an FRC pop. I think that's kind of a cute move there. If Kitty was a little bit closer to Tibisu there, that might have actually connected while Tibisu was in the air, and that would have plummeted Venom to the moon, I think. Early kiss on the neck, and then no more kisses to be had today here. Jump D. Can't contest this pressure. Ooh, but however, a little bit too close there after the blast frames on the carcass raid, huh? Nice, using the jump D as a dive kick to hold your momentum in the air. It's always tough, like when you're trying to jump over Nagoriyuki's special moves. depending what you jump over, especially things like Beyblade, you might have to hold your momentum a little bit extra, so the jump D there for Venom comes really, really handy. And able to hold Nago in the corner, no escape. Tibisu getting to the ever so important 6 before the opponent. And now burden is on Kitty to basically win a tournament set. I guess we play FT3 in tournaments nowadays. Not FT. Oh, that was a nice, sexy conversion. Put them in the corner. Half-life gone. Counter hit close slash, but maybe thought it was too good to be true because didn't follow it up. Could have maybe even killed there straight off. Kitty still in a very good position. Powers through the clone. So many FRCs to still be had. The last one is the kiss of death. Yeah, this round start jump forwards haven't been working out for Kitty that much. And there's not a lot of RPS to be had there either. Using like jump D to stall at that distance, not the best proposition, I think. Okay, the quick cancel from a clone into a bite fixes all of Kitty's blood problems, and now we can burn. Oh, that's a counter hit. Immediate burst. I think this is... yeah, the 5D just misses, unfortunately. Far slash from Kitty, and the conversion should be a wall break and should be 6 heavy. All she wrote heading into the last game of this spectacle. Fast-paced gaming through and through. Even when Venom is on screen, I guess it's like it counterbalances so much. Like Naga versus Venom, one character that wants to be a little slower, one character that can play slower but doesn't have to. Ended up turning into a really fast-paced match, going for the command grab a little too early. Timing on the gold burst. It's gonna give Tibisu the positive bonus as well as all the tension that's gonna follow after that. Nice evasion there on the clone Fukio. Even though Kitty did get into the pressure position, I was about to say it costs so much, and sometimes it does cost your life as well. Tibisu on the set point. Can Kitty do it? Just a standard walk back far slash works out. Even with the very slow far slash like Nagos, we're spending a lot and then gaining it back. The momentum, the snowball, everything. Can we cancel into super? Not quite. The 6 heavy is the second best highest damage option there. Good angle from Tibisu. Goes airborne, sends air fireball. And then out of there, that's a big win. Tibisu, that could be it. Unless Tibisu making a small mishap there. Kitty is on full blood. Full tension as well. Here comes Dark Angel doing... well, I shouldn't say absolutely nothing, because you did buy yourself like a switch there on positions. Putting Kitty in the corner, it's gonna pop. Can we get a punish? 2K is the starter, that's not big enough. In the end, it does put Kitty basically to 0 health, and a simple 2K is what's gonna seal the deal. Team France is on the board for the first one. Might not be the last one, because we've had a couple more coming this evening. What a start to the evening here. Big clap for Kitty, filling up on such a short notice as well. And next one, oh baby, next one is gonna be big, huh? Anarcat for the first time on Bounty Hunters, if memory serves. Rocking that Leo. Super high level skill bracket. Tomi representing Finland's Zato gang. Not really many players here that play this character anymore. I think Tomi is like one of the only ones. I guess Shady technically. But Shady plays the whole cast. Very hyper-specialized character, puppet character as we call in the industry, is Zato. And Leo is your friendly neighborhood gorilla. Probably a good sort of description of this character. You know the kind. Is not even strictly like a gorilla that is forced to play close range, although you usually are the most happy when you get to pound the opponent at point blank. But I mean, I think Zato is not exactly a character that can zone you out too well either, so just like the previous matchup that we just had, there is gonna be a lot of close range scuffling here in this matchup. Of course, Zato would like to engage in those scuffles, not fighting as one, but as two. I mean, I guess two fighting as one is the way how we want to do it usually on the Zato side. Once you do get in, there is very limited amount of things that Zato can do to get the bigger gorilla off of you. Is Abba worth investing time in? I think so. Like, the only thing to say about Abba is that she has a lot of volatile matchups, but for example, one of the strongest player in Europe, Tiger Pop, is happily rocking that Abba and winning tournaments with her, so definitely worth the investment if you're new to the game and do vibe with her. But now let's head into the second matchup of the evening. We got anarcat on the Leo, first time on Bounty Hunters. Ooh, the counterplay immediately. Some of the best counterplay you've ever seen against Leo on Bounty Hunters. We got those K button RPS, IB RPSs here. The one thing about Leo is that his block strings like tend to want to go hit confirm into the K buttons, but K buttons are a huge commitment, especially if you have your opponent IBing. Because lots of cancels are very unsafe on block or just straight up punishable. DP out of the corner of the S-kind, and here we go in the, whatchamacallit, the win condition. Couple of dash throughs. We got those micro dashes on the 5K as well. RC, just in case Tomi wanted to burst immediately, but a good delay, gets to fight more. Another day, maybe. Is it gonna be another day? Is it gonna be another round? Tomi does have to find a couple more mix-ups in, but all the resources are... Whoa, that was SDP from basically downtown. I thought Tomi was nowhere to be found there, but anarcat finding a reversal successfully. I guess, yeah, you can't take it too easy when you're in that position where like you can't take a single hit anymore. Summoning you to oppose does drain the hit there on Leo's stance. Just use of the Drunkard Shade as well. Drunkard Shade had, oh, nice bait there on the burst as well. Looking so much better for Tomi this time around. Hard knockdown. Executor also guaranteeing that we have full puppet gauge ready to go on the stage shift. This time being a little bit more cautious. Probably the DP there, or after the hard knockdown wall break in the previous game, probably gonna linger in the back of Tomi's mind for the rest of the set. Safe poke into the oppose, not committing too bad. The worst mistake you can make is when Zato summons into the big wall that is the oppose, is that you commit with something that is very slow on recovery. Now Tomi with the hard knockdown again. Again, yeah, look at that. The STP just reaches. Damn. I wonder... Yeah, it is sort of, I guess, the privilege of these characters that have horizontally very far-reaching reversals, such as Leo, such as Sin, and maybe even Soul. Oh, nice, the RC! As soon as anarcat collides with the oppose, the red RC is there to provide another hit to break Tomi out of that. Gets a couple of jabs there, able to break out of the corner, but the STP once again, name of the game, putting stop to Tomi's grand plans and holding down the parry stance, or should we say the the guard point stance. Again, there we go. However, Opposed has Tomi's back here. Very interesting RPS back and forth. Step in for this combo. Step in after the combo, during the combo. With the micro dash back there 5D. Look at those movements. That was illegal. In fact, so illegal that it was basically breaking the law. Tomi is ready though. Back throw out of the Berserker barrage or Berserker slash. Here comes the cash out. No need to go for Executor or the, as we call, what is that move called? Sun Void. Sun Void in modern Guilty Gear games. Don't even have to go for that, because Tomi absolutely knew it was over there. Just cash out with Amorphous instead. Nice. I think the K button was absorbed by the wall there. Walling off again. As long as that oppose is in motion, really no good ways to go about it. I mean, you can dash through it, but how viable is that? Good timing on the gold burst. Putting Anarcat in the corner. Oh, that was from so far away. The Lariat. Which does like, was that with a dash momentum as well? I've never seen Lariat reach that far. With heavy DP RC. Neutral trade. Still holding down the fourth here. Oh, Tomi tried to go for, I think it was a 5P looking thing or a summon of some sort. Completely bypassed by the Berserker charge of Anarcats. Into the 5D. And then waits for the DP. DP never comes. Patience. Patience, patience. Even if you are a character who has basically one of the best reversals in the game. That flash kick of Leo's. You still have to mix it up. And then you mix up the layer. Tries to go for the backdash shimmy. Tomi doesn't bite this time. And now the jungle drums. I thought that was gonna go through. But no, Anarcat faking the dash through over the corpse. And again, the break the law into 5D tap. Unreactable overheads. Or can you react to that? Can we do anything here? No, just takes the third overhead in a row. Rolling around with the meat pummeler kind of whatever garbage that Zato's leg turns into. Ooh, okay. Got the oppose there. Drawing out the DP hits. Not the biggest punish there, but Tomi is working towards the corner here. 6 heavy into some air shenanigans. Is it going to be high or low from the jump in? Sunboard, refund all the Eddie Gauge. This is a hard knockdown, but again, the SDP must be haunting Tomi. The classic sequence, put out the wall, dash in for a command grab, and there is no way out for Anarcat. Got the resources for the burst at the very tail end there, as when you get stuck to the wall in Guilty Gear Strive, it does give you a huge burst of burst back, but at that point your burst is still locked out as long as you are doing that wall slump or the wall stick. Cannot burst out of those. Kind of like getting caught by a super. Ooh, the close distance 2K2D. Definitely not the distance that Tomi wants to play on a regular basis against this character. Okay. Big value Sunvoid once again. That was basically the end of Tomi's Sato gauge or little Eddie gauge. Refreshing it again. His pressure keeps going. Sponsored by Positive Bonus. That's why it's so damn important to, well, in the first place, not to get wall broken into hard knockdown, but if you do, then get out of it. Whoa, 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 whoa. How does Tomi actually get there so fast? Is this the move where you switch positions with Zato? Or just a casual burst bait here? As if it was Sunday afternoon. Now Anarcat, only the reversal DP on her side to defend with, but it is too much. This character is all skill points in offensive power for sure. Zato 1, the classic, the first puppet character maybe of the industry. Is he? Did we have puppet characters before Guilty Gear? Oh, and a nice conversion there as well. The unsummon basically giving a full puppet gauge so we can cash out with the harder hitting super here. Good sequencing for Tomi. Into, looking like that was gonna be maybe an empty low of sorts. Or did it just end up missing eventually, initially because the wires it was coming out? Oh, look at that anarcat, no fear there. Knows that the gauge is about to run out and finds a very interesting micro dash into a throw. Not good enough though. Tomi had a decent chokehold there in terms of life lead. Oh, that was maybe meant to be a deflect shield, but turned out to be a blue wild assault. Tomi definitely didn't want that. Speaking of the wild assault, or rather the deflect shield, into a big combo. That's a cool ass combo, bouncing around with the jump Ds. And now tapping 5D from a safe distance, or rather from a safe frame advantage, airtight, no doubt. Refresh the gauge once again, Sun Void. Anarcat does have the resources, but not the life to play with. We're sending it though, baby! Into, able to block the Berserker Shaz. Oh, what a challenge! Anarcat has to find a burst here. No burst? Expecting Tomi to drop it, so Tomi will happily just convert into Amorphous. No right or wrong choices there. That was just pure RPS. Tomi had so much meter to basically say like, okay, every single one of these hits could be RC'd, so you're just gonna have to guess with your burst. And the guess was the delay this time around. Yo, whoa. Are you kidding me? What is this? Rush down Zato, just micro dash going in, frame trapping into gold burst. I mean, that wasn't even a frame trap, that was a full send. Coming down with the guillotine. Tomi with so much snowball going into this. So much snowball. That's a very nice expression, but I mean technically true. How can Anarcat break the walls of the shadows? Well, this is one way. Going with the gorilla instincts. Got them with the overhead. That is an unseeable mix-up. I mean, whereas 5Ds being like 20 frame startup for many characters, or basically all characters, can technically be maybe reacted to if you're absolutely cracked. The back turn heavy, as we see once again, not reactable by any measure. One of the strongest points of Leo Whitefang, and why his close range pressure and back turn is so potent. You actually have the mix that many characters in many fighting games would only dream of. Here's the Amorphous. That's a difficult word to say for a Finn. Yeah, no 5Ds this time. That's not airtight, so Anarcat gonna go for the SDP, go for it again. But it goes for the burst as well. Couple of projectiles nullifying each other. Gets a good jump out, but... Oh, okay. Comeback attempt, dash through. Tomi interrupts with the 5B. One singular 5B, not even a mash. What we call in the industry a bare. So here's a question for a Western audience. What is the difference between mashing and abare? This is a trick question. I don't even know myself. But we use fancier words. When you use fancier words, fancier loaned words from around the globe, makes you feel really smart, right? Like you just pressed the button once and you knew absolutely what you were doing in that moment of time. Right, stalling time, but not enough. Gonna have to pay with the burst in order to not give Anarcat an access to this position here. But Tomi once again, that was an IB into close range distance. RPS with throw afterwards. I think that's not a true punish if you IB that, but Zato is plus there, right? Sorry, Leo is plus there, right, though? Ooh, got the up pose once again. Not the biggest combo this time, stands up for the overhead. So the weather has been stormed for now. No offensive power from Tomi until the puppet gauge is back. Cam's... Oh, okay. Interesting, so the super to break break the puppet wall. I mean, luckily for anarcat, there was basically like Tomi was in between animations, basically on a recovery. So the super just ended up cleaving the whole screen successfully, and yeah, the rest was history. Again, a singular 5B converted into a journey out of the corner into the left corner. Even though anarcat jumping out of the super, still not able to. Oh, nice jump from Tomi. And it cleaves. The guillotine hits from both sides here. Into sandwich. Into I'm hungry. Ooh, that's a good trade for anarcat, although the position afterwards not the best because you are in a life deficit. It all means nothing when you have one good read, and if you picked up Leo Whitefang, you better like some heavy reading, as anarcat just did here. Maybe even having her reading glasses on, who knows? But that was one of the best. Started with a couple of safe pokes here, neither character's pokes reaching from the round start. But now goes for a hard bait. And there we go. Too heavy, still in recovery, I think, so guaranteed burst. Perhaps break the guard into a quick little tap on the overhead. Convert into wall break, and rest is maybe history. Let's see. Starting with the close slash and finding the delayed 2S classic frame trap. The stuff you can do with basically any character you desire in this game. Universals are fairly homogeneous in that sort of way. Good deflect shield, taking care of both of the high and the low mix-up and pushing Leo away. Pushing Leo away in back turn is like your primer directive. Probably the best thing that you could ever dream of. You know what is good? You know what we are always dreaming of? This positive bonus position. anarcat smartly using the YRC in attempt to weather the storm, but Tomi chooses to not be contained. The 5B breaking the 2D from Leo, really? And then the cash out straight into Amorphous to wrap out the round. Wowee. Both players are gonna have access to their bursts here on the last round. anarcat goes for a very aggressive one. Minus there on the turbulence. Here comes the wall break. Life situation equalized. anarcat has a lot of resources. Yeah, look at that Tomi now. Hesitating to go in, playing a much safer distance, missing the meaty. The super is flush though, even if you dial into it. Tomi goes for the burst. 100 meter in the tank. Double jump goes down straight into the puppet spikes. Choosing to play it safe this time. Nice reflect there with the Drunker Shade. Into play it safe, summon into the wall. No options available from the opponent as long as the shadowy wall maintains. Tomi has been able to fight it up to 6 points here. Nice micro step backwards into bar slash, classic strive stuff. Both players expended their lifelines as well here. That is the burst gauge. Oh, still DP's into it. The oppose working overtime for Tomi. Able to double jump over that. Even if the super does miss, it does refund your little gauge, the puppet gauge at the start of the super, no matter what happens. So now, heading into that wall break. Looking good for Tomi. Good trade here, even if it was a trade and even if it put anarcat basically on the brink of death, you probably are willing to risk that for the position that she got, but now it is the most uncomfortable position you could ever think of in an FT7 opponent in set point position, and you still gotta fight so much. Once again, the SDP has been working out decently, I would say at least half of the time, but half of those times not so much. And this was the 50%. Does it end up mattering? Ooh, good challenge there on the micro dash 5K back turn pressure. The DP works out. is in the corner, this time backing off from turbulence. Even though it's extremely minus, I don't think there's a single character in Guilty Gear Strive roster that can punish it, so it's basically like a Street Fighter kind of, whatchamacallit, spacing trap RPS. Oh, that's a punish though! 2D very point blank. Is that gonna be it? Not quite. Tomi dropping the combo. Refreshing. There's no way out. There's no way out. Have to hold FD, but you can't hold forever because here comes the mix-up machine. Tomi takes it 7-2 over anarcat. The pride of Team Zato. Never give up this character, no matter how low you can slump on the tier list. We believe. And Tomi showing what true Zato fundamentals, the Zato commitment looks like. And it flows so well. It's like when you compare low-level Zato players and these top-level Zato players, see how little time the high-level Zato players actually have to spend like recovering their puppet gauge. They just, I mean, of course it's kind of tied to how successful your sequences, your mix-ups and stuff like that are, but goddamn, Tomi's not waiting for too much. Like, Tomi doesn't have to stall for too much. And it's all thanks to, like, not just the great guesses, the RPS, but also spending your resources effectively. Like, half of the time it feels like Tomi has the 50 meter to go for the Sun Void as well, to bail out. Okay, but let's head into the next matchup. The third one is gonna be between LagBoy Baiken and Jeleshk. Fresh new Soul player. At least for us bounty hunters, players and viewers. It's gonna be a very classic clash of infighters. Soul, as much of an infighter as there ever was, without picking a grappler. And then Baiken following shortly behind. Not really known for her strong neutraling, but once you get in there, the mix-ups are available, the explosive damage is available, and can force some... It's a very dangerous RPS. Simply attaching an S-Kabari is quite the threat. Which, like, a lot of players, a lot of matchups, a lot of opponents just can't let that slide for free. LagBoy being a long-time bounty hunter, of course. One of the ones that we've had from almost the start of the show, I want to say. It's a little hard to remember, like, pre-season 1 and season 1 itself. And speaking of those olden and golden times, his character Soul has gone through quite a lot of changes since then. I think if you weren't there when Guilty Gear Strive released, Soul was a very different character back then. To a certain extent, you could play Soul as a better Kai back in the day. So we've gone through quite a bit of transformation since then, but through that transformation, Soul has kind of transitioned into the more traditional Soul character archetype that he's had throughout the Guilty Gear franchise. More of an infighter, rushdown brawler. that is basically able to mix you up immediately once it gets to close range. Taking a very early burst bait here. Jeleshk wrapping it up super fast like on the first round. Maybe for things to come. Going in with the stagger. Probably hope the far slash to be a close slash to get things started for reals. But now Jeleshk with the corner pressure once again. Intercepting with the jumpy, however, doesn't fall into a successful sequence afterwards. Get thrown in the corner. But we can get out of there, utilizing... Oh, nice there. Nice timing at the very end of the jump arc, going for the Bandit Bringer, the classic dive kick. No 50 meter available, so couldn't seal the deal right here. And now LagBoy does go for a big RPS read here, DPing, or rather countering the DP. Needs one more RPS guess though. Lock them into the tatami mat, and that should be... No! Okay, we're still kinda in it. Gets the attachment on the S company from far away, and then picks up the combo. Whew, that was a little stressful. Could have turned out very bad. Connecting the Yozen there so high up in the air that might have actually been a rare footage of being minus there for Baiken. With the back throw. You see the unique opportunity to attach Kabari as well. Opting to not combo, but instead go for the mix-up angle. Of course, when the S Kabari is attached, or the thread is attached, those throws will lead into a conversion for Baiken. If you do so want them to be. The Kabari cross up, able to steal the first game. It looked extremely strong there on the round one for Jeleshk, but once you get the ball rolling on this character, on both of these characters, are we good? I mean, if we are gonna disconnect, this is probably place as good as any to have that happen. Before we actually dive into the actual match itself. Connection lost, huh? And I mean, if the connection starts losing itself in the score screen, that's the worst of possible fates that can happen in just about any event. But dodging it for now, jumping back in, LagBoy with the 1-0. We are just getting started here. With two explosive characters that want to go in. But who gets to go in first? Ooh, missing with the 6B. Tried to parry it, however, I think you can't parry fireballs, right? Can't parry projectiles. It was a very interesting kind of option there. The gunflame from very point blank. Here comes LagBoy with the jump BP stick into the wall. Doesn't have the 50 meters, so Jeleshk still gets to fight another day. PRC there thinks better of the 6 heavy, which is a very common kind of round start option. Quite the fast button for its range. Can be used from neutral as well, but the downside is that it is very dangerous button to whiff. Okay, with the DP type S ×2. Into punish with the 5B. Especially the air bandit bringer is the one that is kind of tricky to deal. Oh my god, what was that cross up? Immediate burst there by LagBoy, putting Jeleshk in the corner. We are not being contained though. Strike throw, 2D, ends up whiffing on the backdash. Ooh, with the dash jump, forward jump, heavy counter hit. Not quite the done deal yet. Can we? No, we can't land safely. As the tatami mat going online, SDP in the corner, fighting back and forth. LagBoy basically can't take even a special move on block anymore. So wants to maintain this offensive momentum all the way through, but eventually, nothing lasts forever in fighting games. No pressure lasts forever, especially if your opponent is actively counterplaying you. Oh, there we go again. Right on the DP. Oh, I wonder if the physics played a part in that Bandit Bringer whipping. Classic instant air dash jump slash Yozan. Landing into... Oh, do we have a button going online? No, that was actually a parry! I'm not sure if that was the first frames of like a normal or something that LagBoy cancelled there, or if that was just a hard prediction there on the minus frames, but it does end up working out. Those big gamble parries are working out so well for LagBoy, and I mean they're not the worst reward either if you think about it. A successful raw parry is somewhat akin to a strong hitting command grab. I mean, at one point, the parry for Baiken would hit for just about as much as a wild throw. Oh, with the re-jump pressure here. Tap into 5D, not quite finding the mark. Minus frames, go for the DP, and then, speak of the devil, wild throw. In a very classic manner, utilized as well. If you go for it, you throw the opponent out of the corner, so usually preferred if you finish the round with it so you don't lose your position. I mean, you might be back against the corner yourself, in which case that would be a very, very valuable position to fire those as well. Looking for one more mix-up, it's gonna be the cross-up. Drive by Yozan once again. Have to be very mindful of Baiken's position on those knockdowns and whether she can potentially air dash over you just like so. Oh, throwing out of the, I think there was a heavy Kabari follow-up there. So a little bit too close. LagBoy, not ready to give up this quick win here. Switching sides, very nice, the position is good. Air throw. Of the back throw, back kind though. Minus on the Fafnir, goes for the RPS again, goes for it again. This time, LagBoy willing to wait it out, and now waits out the burst as well. It was just, the sequence was basically set in stone there for LagBoy. The RC comes out, check if the burst is coming out. If not, then just strike once more and that's a done deal. It's kind of like what we call in the industry a checkmate to a certain extent. Which does end up happening when you have so little life that you can't afford to wait anymore. Usually ends up causing those kind of checkmates. With a throw break in the air. Drifting forward into baits the SDP. Wowee! You just reset your pressure into RC just to play RPS on the DP, although I respect it. Those DP punishes are huge. So if you know what you're doing, absolutely. Here comes the next mix-up. It is low, and with the multi-hitting 2D as well, gives the opportunity for the opponent to jump or just basically stand up a couple of different times. Right from the RC, should be a kill. Any wall hit will do. Yes, sir. Ooh, that was a micro dash in to check what the opponent is doing into an SDP. Of course, the DP, very beloved tool for solo players of all Guilty Gear games and all skill levels. Universally, has always been one of the better DP characters, and Guilty Gear Strive ain't no exception. Gets the burst back here, but now Jeleshk is faced with a sort of a question here. Would we spend that burst, or do we just take it till the next round? There is still hope. Switching sides. It might actually be LagBoy who has to be thinking about the burst here. Hammer them with the BB. Oh, frame chap! No conversion though. Was probably expecting LagBoy to go for the panic play and burst immediately. We ain't gonna though. Plays it cool, like a cucumber. LagBoy able to secure the burst for the last round. Taking some chances, but hey, these fighting games ain't the safe man's game. Exactly. With every interaction comes inherent risk and reward, as they say. And again, from the minus frames, gambling with the parry, gets the reward. Ooh, caught them with the close slash. On the back dash, can we convert? Dropping the combo. 5 being for dear life. but none of those converted. Now Jeleshk resuming pressure. Make sure that pressure continues after the Fafnir as well. Fafnir as a tool has kind of changed functionality. Used to be non-cancelable into plus frame producer, but now more of a combo tool and a frame trap tool. Leeching the minus frames though. Ooh, grabbing on the on the landing. I think LagBoy was planning some sort of empty throw or an empty low perhaps. Not working out, so Jeleshk putting themselves on the board. Gunflame from Soul would do surprisingly decent amount of things in this matchup, as you would have to be really far to like kind of counter poke through the Gunflame with Escabari, I think. I'm not even sure if that's possible. Tries to go for the wild throw. LagBoy says no. Double jump out of the corner. Attach the Kabari. Even though that was a back throw out of the corner again, it's okay. We are in our victory condition, which is attach the Kabari. Keep the point blank mix-up pressure going. Lots of resources here for Jeleshk. Able to get the throw. One more throw would be lethal. BB not so much, I guess. Oh, I'm actually surprised that the Bandit Bringer ended up not doing that much damage there. I guess LagBoy was on his like last pixels, which gives you quite a lot of guts to work with in this game. And Gotch is basically more EHP. Oh, but players whiffing again. First to emerge is LagBoy. Jump K, nice angle there. The upwards kind of a hitbox. Catching Jeleshk. And now, how do we get out of here? Not by pressing buttons, at least. That's a good frame trap. And once again, with the 6 heavy PRC option select, doesn't find its mark. In the middle of the air dash, so Jeleshk basically can't do anything about that. One of those rare sequences where I think one of the only things you can do would be to burst. But at the very startup of the air dash animation, you are basically locked in to recovery and can't do much. We got them with the dunk, put them in the corner, close slash. As Doctor ordered, one of the holy grails, the best starters you could ever get in Guilty Gear, even if it's not a counter hit. Uh-oh, the self corner here. The parry from a very different angle. I think it was a red parry as well. Ooh, got them with the close slash. They're going back and forth. Tom and Jerry. The fireball does connect. No conversion. Was playing it safe for sure. Heavy Kabari challenged by SDP. I think he's quite minus there, but from that distance where you can't quite threaten any sort of realistic way to get your party started. Ooh, we got the gold burst. There was decent amount of meter on top of the gold burst as well. That's gonna get Jeleshk into 100 meter. Throw PRC option select. But not getting the value out of the option select that you were hoping for. Jeleshk has been going for a lot of these PRC option selects, but they're still not able to force the opponent to hold still, unfortunately. The round start jump, the jump heavy, very limited horizontal range for Soul, so getting anti-aired for their troubles. Now, with the basic mix-up, close slash into jump cancel overhead, waiting for the burst. Jeleshk holding tight for now. Would be really nice to... yeah. I was about to say, would be really nice to maybe... I mean, what would you be saving it for anyway? Red Wild Assault isn't got quite the power tool it used to be necessarily. Can be still used for conversions, but... the hit confirms can be quite brutal. Ooh, the telekinetic SDP. Using it successful. Oh, tried to go for a... I think that was supposed to be an FRC, in which case the wild throw would have probably caught LagBoy. Punish is late. Damn, no shot. Trying to counterplay the DP. This time the DP is not the option though from Jeleshk, going with a fast Avare instead. One more hit. On the horizon, if we could only find that. That is a hit, but maybe not good enough. Check their legs with the 2K afterwards. Definitely an important round here, or rather important game for Jeleshk. Otherwise, LagBoy is gonna run away with so much lead. We have to bring it a little bit closer. If we want a party, that's a close starter. Drops the combo, doubles it up. Escabari, lots of plus frames, should be a kill.
Perfect. Duel 3. Let's rock.
Ooh, it's a clean catch there. Watching what the opponent's doing and throwing them out of their approach. Stands up for the overhead. Very nice. DP doesn't quite allow LagBoy to skip a hop to the other side. Oh, but he do in the follow-up sequence. Burst is available, as well as is a lot of meter. Nice conversion out of the BB. Tap the 5e, however, even as a counter hit, that doesn't convert into anything. You do have to have the 50 tension, waits out for the burst. The punish is not the biggest. And then the scramble afterwards. Leaving LagBoy once again one step ahead on the guessing games. Trying to snipe round start with the jump D. Has very decent horizontal reach and disjoint. Here we go with the, I think, neutral jump shimmy. Trying to go for there. Ooh, missing the input on TK Yozansen, so getting a TK jump slash for their troubles. Very common conundrum. Come down from the other side. The back side is the best side when it comes to how easy things are to read. Snipes again with the jump D. I mean, it could be a misinput on air throw as well, but looked so cool all of those times that I'm gonna give it benefit of the doubt and say that it was premeditated for LagBoy. Jump out of there, counter hit that could be picked up if memory serves correctly. Good trade for Jeleshk. Late bandit bringer and baits out the red parry as well. Now looking for potentially one good hit here. But these BBs are usually not the one big hits that we're talking about. Baits that burst. Is that gonna be all she wrote? Oh no, not quite. Drops the combo. Here comes Jeleshk. Maybe last watch of the Valkyries. Sulkyries even. Goes for the dash through, using the follow-up after a heavy kabari. Holds it. And then scores the 7 points, which puts an end to the set. LagBoy taking out Jeleshk. In that old classic LagBoy fashion as well. Now, next game, we're once again sort of ramping up the skill tier. In fact, for the rest of our matches tonight, as we're basically looking at Jalis versus JeanTesla, Well versus Metadona, as well as Detada versus Leif. 3 very high-profile matches from the Vanquisher rank. Which also opens up our mini sequence of Dizzies, 2 back-to-back here, out of which Jalis has been probably the most active representative of this character on Bounty Hunters as of recent, and showing some very entertaining Dizzy tech as well. Has been tinkering with those Wings of Light quite a bit. Definitely a Wings enthusiast. But the opponent tonight, JeanTesla, showing up for the first time on a very, very dangerous character. He's basically a slice of paper versus scissors. If you do get in on May. This is a character that bleeds substantially a lot. Not only has always been like one of the softest characters in the Guilty Gear franchise, also used to be the most vulnerable as far as stun resistance is considered. Even though a relic of the past, you no longer have the stun mechanic in Guilty Gear Strive, those sort of the remnants of the pixie character still remain. And this is quite fast to take out if you do get in on some of these higher damage characters, such as May. But sort of the the special clause there, if you do get close. I mean, May definitely not the most immobile character out there. Has the infamous Totsugeki, for instance, able to close out the distance, or not really close out the distance, but threaten the opponent on the horizontal axis at any given moment, as long as there is no projectiles on the way. This character Dizzy is known to produce quite a lot of those to get her game plan started. I mean, she can technically do zoning for the sake of zoning, to play into those ice spike starters, technically. But I think the sort of the primary directive for many Dizzy players would be to get some of those projectiles out and then follow behind them into the close range pressure. Immediately split into a counter hit from JeanTesla. Jalis had no choice but to burst immediately. I mean, there is always a choice, but yeah, about the risk that would pose. Jalis' anti-air game will have to be very on point in this one, as May is, speaking of the anti-airs, the too heavy not coming from the side of Jalis, but from JeanTesla. Skipping hop out of the corner. Ooh, was able to still block on the ice spike. It's very cool. The splits again. The split kind of changed not really the nature of the character, but gave her a lot of new building blocks after the patch that it was implemented. Changing her combo routes, her neutral play, and just about everything. She is a lot about the Dolphins after all. Jalis escaping the corner with a simple instant air dash out on the opponent's commitment. Ooh, that's a critical miss on the too heavy. We've actually been talking about that for the past couple of weeks. Nobody so far has been able to punish those heavy buttons from Jalis, but JeanTesla definitely showing their quality here. Oh, the RPS there. Rather, the guarantee, the insurance of the PRC, making sure that if there is gonna be a burst from Jean, it's gonna be baited, and so it goes. Both players at the end of the game number 1 without much burst resource to speak of. And Jalis goes for the full conversion, bringing to the wall. Now, one of the downsides of Dizzy's combo routing that you have to pay attention to, that if you if you keep comboing through, especially the explosion of the ice floor, that causes a lot of proration, and in Guilty Gear Strive, the more proration to your combo you have, the more resources the opponent builds back. So you're gonna have to make decisions like how much you want to route through some of the sort of the floor explosions. It's gonna be Jalis frame trapping into the chestnut, taking the first one. The night is still young, and this matchup is only getting started here. Oh yeah, I guess that is true that what Jalis said in the chat, that he does not have any characters technically in Vanquisher rank, but is a player who gets like QK seal of approval, is definitely a Vanquisher plus kind of a player. Even if you don't have any characters in there, you're basically fighting like a Vanquisher player for sure. Oh, able to see the backdash and then punish there with those slowdown flames of the drift forward BRC. Very common kind of sequence on those soft knockdowns on the wall break especially. Got the close slash anti-air. Cutting it short, pushing Jalis towards the corner, and now I was about to say the RPS is gonna be much about can we keep the opponent from jumping out of the corner. Jalis does jump out of there though. Approaching from the ground with the 3K. Throw them in the corner. How about this left corner? The right one didn't work out, and neither does the left one. Jalis once again RPSing after the jump. Ooh, but the deflect shield prevents Jalis from getting in with the blue wild assault. From the split jump, B hit. Okay, third time's the charm, right? Or maybe we could even say third time's the Jean. Ah, ow. S tier level jokes. Oh, that's another heavy button whip there, and punished by JeanTesla. Wall break. Yeah, it's gonna have to be really careful here. Even the S buttons. The problem of the matter is, if it's not the K or P buttons, or the 2S, everything else in Dizzy's kit is so damn whip punishable. Lots of recovery. 2 heavy, 5 heavy. Far slash. All of that. Extremely slow on recovery. Like a lot of those far range pokes have like surprisingly same kind of frame data for Dizzy as well. Even though they are some of the most active buttons that Guilty Gear Strive has to offer for their sort of their move type. Ooh, that's a dunk! And this time, Jalis getting caught by Rock and a Hard Place. No burst to speak of. That's gonna be the first full conversion. A clean 70%, baby! Am I also... Is that the kill? Is that a kill? Killer whale! Not quite yet. But it's looking like a third touch, or rather a 3-touch situation. I mean, I guess 3-touch is nothing to write home about, but when your first touch takes 70% of the opponent's life, you are kind of limiting them to a certain extent. Okay, we got the wings. Spending RC in order to try to stall for the activation. Doesn't quite get there. Maybe next time. I mean, if what we've seen in the past couple of weeks, I think Jalis doesn't just forsake the wings. The wings will make a comeback if we get a chance eventually. Last pixel remaining for Jalis. Goes into the empty low from split, 5 PP to keep the opponent downsized. Stay on the ground and get dolphined in the face. Jean does get the winning position here, 2-1. Oh, that's a counter hit, so we can convert that for sure. And maybe even more importantly, bring... Oh, actually gets a wall break out of that. But of course you do. But of course you do. Take a couple of small mics. Michael Sword, a tool. Maybe outside of the Ice Spike, some of her furthest reaching tools. More of, I guess, a mid-range poke than a full-screen range poke. From the slump, summing a couple of fishes. Can break here. Choosing to take it without super. Good punish attempt there. Sending the dolphin after the 5 heavy whiff from Jalis. YRC. Oh, the far slash does not whiff, and that's gonna be a punish, right? Closing in. Burst. Do not get closed in. Can't jump here, but I mean, hey, wait, the fish still activated. How did that work? I think how it works is like even if you're like pixel out of the ground, basically if you are in an aerial state, the fish does end up triggering and then coming after you. Very good tool for keeping the skies clear. If you do have time to summon into it, that's a counter hit to, or sorry, a clean 2 heavy anti-air, prompting a burst from JeanTesla. Into a mix-up, empty low, go again. The pace is fast, so you better not sleep. Again, it's the classic, just jump out, instant air dash. Jean giving us chase here, though. With the BMB conversion, applying the... Ooh, okay, we went into the S Ice Spike instead, summoning a pike in front of you. And then... Okay, not quite the wall break just yet. Slipping and sliding, Looney Tunes kind of shit here. JeanTesla can't quite get the move on, while the ice is floory, or the other way around. When the ice be floor. Alright, even 2-2. Starting with a decently risky round start gamble. When you go for that May 2K and don't have any tension to write home about, it's technically on block a big punish kind of a thing. Get the reversal super to break the wall this time around. It's working, doing good work towards the round win here. Had a little bit of momentum going into the ice floor, but not nearly enough to make anything out of it. And with the ice floor, pushing Dizzy forward, keeping her in that pressure position where you get to spend those or summon into those chestnuts over and over again for some juicy little plus frames. Nice from the back jump. Back jump K, was it? One of the like shallowest hitting jumping buttons in the whole damn ass Guilty Gear Strive, and still able to convert out of it. That was kind of cool. Now this time it's gonna be JeanTesla who gets a free jump out of the corner, or maybe not free, because they did get tagged in the follow-up situation. Wings of Light immediately dissipated there from the trade. Everybody's game trying to swing a far slash, swinging a miss, and here comes JeanTesla getting the empty low, though. His empty lows have been working out. The downside is that they are pretty down low on the reward deposit or the department as well. The world's slowest far slash as the RC slowed down JeanTesla's frames. Still ends up working out though. Trying to swing with the 5K on the Dizzy side. Nice, the backwards moving momentum into a jump slash. Very good reach for those air buttons for Dizzy. Horizontally, that is. Vertically, absolutely horrendous, though. Look at the break. Jean has a lot of tension going on here. But Jalis is no fear going straight into a throw. Activating wings. 100 tension. Good reversal super into PRC. Doesn't get a chance to do so. Jalis sending the Michael sword. Slicing across the battlefield. Slicing so hard that we get the leading position back here. Nice wave punish on the 2P. Sorry, the 6P. And with the counter hit, we can definitely take the wall break here. And we have the meter as well. Ow! Double nice. Into a big counter hit. That should be the round here, I think. Yeah, Dizzy with the low amount of EHP does not go down, in fact. Like I said, Dizzy will never be killed by small-ass damage, such as what May is able to put out. Didn't I tell you? I'm always right when I say that Dizzy wasn't gonna die. I was right all along. Now with the wings, and very little time. Ooh, that was a very valuable 2K. Because that wings was gonna activate, and Jalis had the meter to roll with it for a couple of frames as well. Ooh, nice scoop out of the sky. Got the backdash with the close slash as well. However, Jalis with the back throw. The meter wasn't quite there. Plus frames into Michael's sword knockdown. It's gonna activate. Oh, it's gonna come. Oh no, it's not gonna come. That would have been a fat wings activation as well, because JeanTesla had so much life and Jalis had so much juice in the tension bar to basically almost deal 420 damage there, probably. Which is, I guess, still technically the max amount of life that you have in Guilty Gear Strive. Blaze it. From the command grab, Jalis says, no, don't quite want to take the wall break here just yet. Good old JeanTesla jumping with a block button enabled onto Jalis's 2 heavy counter. Oh my god, what was that? The S-Dolphin Abare out of there. And not a small hitting one either. Taps the overhead. Jalis not quite ready for that one. Just a barely too short on the tension. And it's minus frames. Jalis tapping the 5K. Ooh, 5K. Double time into Dizzy's best button. Check 2K, tick throw, RC into, is it enough? Oh, small mic does not connect. And Tesla. Actually, Jalis blocking successfully there. Plus frames from the beach ball into your basic grappler stuff. Even though this is not a grappler character. Okay, gold burst towards the corner. I like that. That's resources and an aggressive position to work with. Now we have that 50 that we can extend with the burst where it came from. Basically buying Jalis the corner position for just a moment. Back throw again. Lots of back throws have been used this set. Don't miss your meaty now. Goes for a back jump shimmy here in case the opponent was gonna go for the throw. Late air back dash as an overhead option. Blocked by Jean. And here comes the comeback attempt. We're a little short there and don't have the 50 tension either. The 50 tension would be so big. And again, Jalis with the BRC option select. Just in case that Jean wanted to try to go for the burst. Quite good transition into 6P from the grounded pressure. 2K. Not gonna combo, instead gonna tick throw out of that. Blue Wild Assault usually worked together with the wings. The wings are coming. Oh, here they come. There we go. And instantly dissipates. Ha, dissipates. Yo, we're on a roll. That's a three puns in a row in a set. I haven't even rehearsed these. Damn. Okay. Well, first Jalis was in the lead, then Jean was in the lead, then Jalis was in the lead. What's next? Ooh, from the split, Jumpy catching, Jalis throwing plasma, or maybe ice and fire in this case. Oh, with the left right. The downside, of course, if you... Oh no, the FRC ended up whiffing here. Jalis steals the corner back. And potentially looking for one more hit. We do have the resources, even after the FRC. The FRC just saves so much meter. Because it only, like, it doesn't burn the full 50, but instead burns, like, the amount that you end up spending. Because, like, the RC expenditure comes very differently compared to the vanilla Guilty Gear Strive version. It's spent basically, like, progressively during the active frames of the RC itself. So if you prematurely cancel it, the fast RC kind, then you only spend so much. There's a long-winded TED talk about that mechanic. Wings are once again gonna resolve, but can't get any value out of that. Here comes JeanTesla with a big combo. From that positive bonus, we're gonna have so much. If we can get in. Yeah, deemed that 6P was not gonna be a successful anti-air there. Too close. Too close, too personal. Charges the 6 heavy, that's plus frames, and catching jump attempt. The jump out attempt from Jalis, which basically both players have been using to its full effect to escape the corner. Oh, I like this. As soon as JeanTesla saw that Jalis did get his jump off, did the backdash and adjusted the position, even if you do get your air dash out, you're gonna land still in front of me. Cool way how Jean is using the, whatchamacallit, the dolphin into maybe instant split as like a makeshift command dash of sorts. Jalis with the 100, we can churn it. Not going to though. Wants to save 50. Which goes in the FRC into the finish shimmy, aka the neutral jump shimmy. Which does get Jean in the end. And now, for the first time in the set, one player has been able to build momentum for 2 games worth. Is that how it's gonna go down? Or does Team France have another trump card up their sleeve here? Right, goes for the full conversion. Oh, I guess not the full conversion. I mean, almost. At the end of the tail end of that combo, the opponent starts building so much tension for just like any hits that it tends to not be worth anymore. So the combo resets become ever so appealing. Oh, still got the wall slump here. Full burst resources here for Jean, but Jalis has a lot of momentum going. Tried to tap the 5D. Was that a misinput on throw, or did we meant to go for that? OTG into fully charged 6 heavy. Activate wings, you know the deal. You know the sequence. Jalis has been going for that quite a bit in the corner. Plus frames, plus frames, plus frames. We're dashing forward. Got even a Kara chestnut there to guarantee the precision to be really good. That's a... Ooh, caught them with that low. In the middle of the backdash as well. Here comes the counter cash out. And that's a super knockdown. Oh, got them with the low, and the OTG is gonna be enough. Okay, looking good for Jean here. As long as you don't lose this round. We got the full burst. We got the opponent on half burst. I mean, they got an ice spike hit. It's okay. Jalis chose to not convert big time. Chose to not cash out, as we say in the industry. The near miss on the ice physics. Skating forward. Is Jalis on the dizzy. One dash kara as well. The little mic pressure in the corner. 5 heavy collides with the fish. And now, here comes all the fishes in the world. But who's the biggest one of them all? It ends up being maybe Jean. Maneuver out of the corner. Good block on the spike once again. Lots of momentum. Brings them together into a place where RPS is once again to be had. Look at that. I love that. So Jalis went like a 2D anti-air on the landing recovery. Not as an anti-air, but to target the landing instead. Oh, but here comes the landing with the big jump B. Oh no! Landing into not enough plus frames. Jalis is gonna convert. Flow slash OTG GG. 6 points on the board. That is mighty big amount of momentum. Oh, nice whiff punish there. Once again, the far slash, very dangerous button to press. And off the round start for Dizzy, she doesn't have like all of her round start buttons have the same kind of problem, that they are basically the standard kind of slow far slash speed kind of a button, all in one. Big wall break and building that resource back. Can we reach the pressure? Yes, indeed, into an empty low. Is that gonna be enough? Wall stick is enough, right? Killer whale, yes, I'm gonna call it. That's always gonna be enough. Yeah, I don't think I've ever guessed wrong on these, like when do these kill, these wall stick supers. I've got all of them right, 100%. The challenge there on the S Dolphin, always minus. Moves like this, kind of like the Blanca ball from Street Fighter, come with the risk. Oh, got them airborne. That's almost as good as close slash counter hit, or a 5 heavy counter hit. To the other side, Jalis stays on board with the side switch Mixerino. Looking to go for the close range spike here, defending your space ahead of you. Activating wings. But they're gone immediately because of the throw break. And looking like Jean is still alive and kicking and smacking and surfing. But one slip up and it could be immediately over in favor of Jalis. Split in there. Staying tight on the guard. Ooh, gold burst. Okay, I like that. You can kind of do that as soon as you see the 6 heavy being charged by Mei. You can react to it and go for a gold burst from that neutral position if like that's the kind of jazz that you like to listen to. Missed the whip punish there on the 3K. Jalis has so many resources. Once again, the favorite sequence. Fully charged 6 heavy into wings. Into... Oh, this wastes so much time. I think they activate right. Here we go. Boo! Shakalaka! Big nuke! Finally getting value for those wings. It's been a long time coming. At least 10 games so far. Ooh, that was a good whip punish. Fighting out of the corner. Jean goes for the burst, trying to maintain some semblance of that corner control. And back in there, the 2D mash once again. It's one of these furthest reaching. Oh, nice backdash shimmy. And the physics not affecting Dizzy herself that much. And from the shimmy, the throw, get the break on the floor, and that's it. That's it. I didn't even realize. Jalis had so much momentum after the 3-3, 3-4 kind of position that, yeah, it was just smooth sailing from there on out. At least looked like it. Jalis still doing really good with that DC pick that he's been locked onto for a very, very long time. And looking like they're... I mean, if the footage looks like this, no reason to switch either. I mean, with a character like Dizzy, you would have to assume that there ain't gonna be anything but buffs moving forward. Now, let us do a little bit of scouting here and see if we can actually play this game well versus Metadona. We do have well ready to go, but hopefully we also have a Metadona. So give me a moment as we are checking what the situation is. Hopefully we can get this, because this would be a really interesting matchup to watch. I mean, just about any time you have a competent Zato player on screen, it's gonna be super interesting. Unfortunately, the message comes through and we couldn't quite make home in time. So that would probably mean that for now, we're gonna be skipping it and probably skipping altogether. But to comfort, or as the consolation prize, we have one more spicy mix-up ready to go. Let's call the players in the lobby. This might come as a little bit of a surprise, a little earlier than expected. Okie dokie. So Detada, one of the biggest representatives of Bedman. We have, I think that the biggest reason why we have had so much Bedman recently is not solely because of Detada, but a majority of those Bedman matches are definitely Detada. Leif, on the other hand, Leif is a very interesting kind of a story on bounty hunters. Started from very humble beginnings and has been able to fight it all the way up to very respectable rankings. And in fact, at the moment, we're often running into a... Let's put it like this. So, majority of the bounty hunters player base who sign up are somewhere in like the intermediate bracket, maybe. I would say the intermediate bracket usually tends to be either like upper intermediate or like low Wangisher tends to be like where the biggest peak of players is. With Leif, we're getting to the point where like when he signs up, it can actually be a chore to find somebody who is as strong as he is nowadays. It's not guaranteed that we always have players like of this skill level ready to go. Okay, so need to stall for around 5 minutes to give Leif the time to get ready. Understandable, for we did skip one of the matchups that were supposed to happen in between. Bedman Bridget. That gives us time to check the official Bounty Hunters data sheet, which is also available for public to view, pinged up in the event channel. So I'm going to check. I had a hunch that we've played quite a bit of Bedman versus Bridget recently. So let me check if that is actually true. We have Bedman Dizzy, Bedman Johnny, Bedman Elfelt, Bedman Axel. We have a lot of Bedman versus another long-range character, but has there been a Bridget Bedman matchup? Like anywhere? This year? Last year? No? Huh. Well, I stand corrected then. The last Bedman versus Bridget matchup we had was like at the beginning, basically a year ago. Played by 11th that time. From the Bridget side. Okay. Well, I guess it's I guess I mistook Dizzy for Bridget there for a moment. Well then, it's gonna be the first Bridget versus Bedman in a long ass time. Played by some of the best in the community to pilot those characters. So the way the victory conditions for these characters work, both can sort of play keep away. Generally, both of these characters become keep away characters if you are playing against a character who is, for one, has way better close range game than you, and two, can actually be zoned out. Of course, you know, neither one of these can ultimately be kept out. Bedman can always go airborne, throw spikes. Bridget always has like some of the best range in the whole Guilty Gear roster. So rather even setting at the neutral, I want to say, although what do I know? I haven't watched this matchup in a long time. But basically how Bedman tends to win games is get a successful hit and or a deja vu, or what do they call in this game, an error, an automatic follow-up that happens, and hopefully guard crushes the opponent. It's especially the guard crush pressure loop that you generally try to get to once you have your, you know, error ticking and the opponent on the ground. Bridget is more traditional set it and forget it kind of a, or not necessarily like a set it and forget it kind of a mix-up character, but definitely a blender character. Always safe jumps available from her knockdowns, can set up the yo-yo, and with the yo-yo can do all sorts of fancy air shenanigans which allow her to basically mix the opponent up just like Ino with her hover dash. Ooh, caught them with the low. Oh, and to the other side. It's definitely not only the high-low shenanigans that are available for Bridget, especially after those, I think when they changed the rolling movement, the air twirl movement of Bridget's a long time ago. Wasn't it around that time when her left-right game also got kind of empowered? Oh, both players whipping a throw there. A good challenge here from Detada from the far slash. That is, but the error immediately nullified by Leif. Not allowing Detada to get the game started. And now, we have that FRC available into Rock the Baby. And then, more blender to be had. Definitely not too... Oh, just sense it! And that gives us the error, which unfortunately, again, does not go online. That's the downside, I want to say. Because Bridget has... Ooh, I guess that burst was not punished, so Detada still has a small chance, but... That's so tricky! Skipping to the other side and then coming down with the dive kick. Quick Mixerino time for Leif. But yeah, as I was about to say, even if you do get like a knockdown on a bedman and able to start the timer of your error, because Bridget has those massively reaching pokes, like one poke and you could say you can kiss goodnight for your error, unless you play yourself in a position where you get to like mix up them immediately, like maybe get to a close slash with your error rolling, stuff like that. It's much easier to make happen in the corner, like if you have the opponent in the corner as the bedman player. Rock the baby for the wall, for the round. Oh, nice walk back there with punishing the... What's that button? Is that 2 to S? No? 2D? The one that produces kind of like a spiky hitbox looking animation. Oh, just sending it too heavy right off the bat. Okay, we're playing with the big guns now, huh? But Life is on that 100. Even trade. Here comes Kickstart My Heart. One of the tools that you absolutely have to keep in mind, always, 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 when Bridget has meter, but more importantly, when Bridget has you on kind of a checkmate situation in terms of your life. If you can be killed with one more hit, then the incentive to go Kickstart My Heart into RC, into FRC even, into a mix-up is very tempting. How do you defend your grounded? Oh, that's one way. I was about to say, how are you going to defend against that? But sending a ground fireball, definitely one of those. You want to have a good hitbox. Oh, that was a dirty left right there. Would have cornered himself, but that kind of problem ain't no biggie when you're hunting for the last pixel. Yeah, we're pixel hunters here on this. Oh, the landing there, the premature landing into an empty 2S. One of the go-to tools of this character with the rolling movement. Fakes it this time, goes into a frontal assault. What's it gonna be next? Slow down frames with the BRC, just standard looking pressure. But standard is the name of the game for a lot of these characters that you can get very far with. Nice with punish again. Waiting for the initial button to come out. Detada swinging into a command grab. Not quite enough meter for Life. But there's gonna be there is gonna be some meter here, baby. Look at this. And more to come. Even after spending the FRC, Life almost at 100 again. And you bet your ass there's gonna be another kickstart into FRC mix-up. Life still has one more to go out of these. The 5 heavy not quite close enough. Good idea. But man, Life is working with some surgical precision accuracy. Standing in all the right places, building all the right amount of meter, and then dumping the meter into the unrelentless kickstart FRC pressure. Ooh, wait. Close slash catch on the landing frames. That was valuable. Oh, but now Detada is in position. This is the win condition. Activate install. Now this will make ever so much harder for Bridget to challenge the follow-ups. Even if you do trade into it, they still come out. That's one of the cool features of that install super. Not only do you get like, does it give you like just a flat damage boost? But technically your error follow-ups can't be interrupted and they break your guard and also break the wall immediately. So a lot of good things comes from that install. I think there was one more feature that I'm missing. Tap on the 5D and then the super, that's gonna be enough. Multi-hit. Not necessarily like super hard-hitting super per se, but it deals a lot of hits, which is the feature that you're looking for if you're trying to, quotations, guts crush the opponent. Oh, with a big too heavy. Trademark Life stuff. Protecting the corner with that pillar of a hitbox that Bridget too heavy is. Got it with a close slash, no hit confirmed this time, but we are working with 100, and I think that's probably gonna be enough, no? Leif saying not quite, so we're gonna skip a hop into a mix. And oh my goodness, what can Detada say when Leif's engine is roaring, even purring? Ooh, that's a clean close slash, or sorry, jump slash from Detada. Ooh, I like that. Instead of rolling into a commitment, rolling very like an upwards trend and buying yourself basically the mid-screen position for quotations free. You got the mix-up from Detada though. Yeah, when you can land this particular jump in, it is so tricky. Multi-hits, and then you're trying to guess for if Bedman is gonna go for a jump D, or if they're gonna transition into a empty low, or rather a low. Just standard all low. Ooh, waiting for the burst potentially. Not coming out from Detada just yet, and potentially doesn't even have to bite on the burst bait this round. Because Detada is sitting. Ooh, he's gonna go for it though. I like that, because you're so high life here in high life against life. You're so high health here as Detada. You can probably guarantee that the burst is gonna come back during this set. Or sorry, this round still. Activation. Boom shakalaka out of the sky. A single red lightning strike does so much damage. I mean, I never really stopped thinking about it. That was just like couple of projectiles, and Leif lost basically like how much? 1/4 of their life bar? Oh, okay, overshooting a little. With the quotation shoot fall off. I think it's literally just named shooting or shoot. Yeah, it's the RC here. Tail end of that animation, mashing with the too heavy, and it works out. It does make sense, because a lot of Bedman's pressure is that like a jump cancel. Yep, exactly like that. Jump cancel, hover into the air, and then dive down. So if there is a button that has good rewards and kind of fits that kind of a profile that you're RPSing Bedman instantly out of those jump cancels or those hover cancels, yeah, too heavy would definitely make sense. Lost frames into, set up the yo-yo, counter play here with the YRC, meter for meter. Classic Guilty Gear conundrum. You never want to be the player who has less meter in a given RPS situation. That means the opponent always has +1 on you. Started with a 5B. Super far-reaching, niche, specialized button. The mix-up comes in the form of jump D for Bridget. Going for the empty low this time. Detada can only block for so long. Bed press to the other side, the jump D into a big combo. Drop them before the wall break comes online. Gosh, guard their crush. And then activation. This is a very common kind of sequence of events that Detada likes to roll with. And because that activation is online, even Roger Super cannot do anything. I love that, especially in a matchup like this where the opponent could potentially send their super projectile and say no. You can, like, you've already said no before the no comes online, because you have that install active. Oh, smacking with a big counter hit. Detada should be able to get the burst back before the fat lady shings. But it does not guarantee that he's gonna have a good position afterwards. Ooh, actually an aggressive burst for Leif. Keep them in there, send Roger. Collect the taxes. To the other side, yeah, you probably have to have some sort of tricky aspect to your ground game if you're engaging from that angle. Because Leif is so good with the anti-air, too heavy. Activate again. Here comes the lightning strike, finds a counter hit. That's a hard knockdown. And now, chip point position. You could probably just zone. Yep, The one time when transitioning into just pure zoning is a winning play, had Life basically in a chokehold, no life left whatsoever. So lightning after lightning, spike after spike is gonna be the winning play. Even trade here. Detada still contained in the corner. I think got a kiss from the too heavy as well. Life has basically all the makings of just an absolutely dominating round here. Resetting the pressure into Wild Assault, set up the yo-yo, more mixes. When are you gonna challenge? Break on the throw, Fuzzy Kind. Kickstart my heart. Yep, it's just... Unless you take a risk here, you just can't get out of this pressure sequence before Life has spent every single little bit of his resources. Ooh, the tail end of the jump, heavy ends up connecting. Nice neutral jump, comes down with a jump slash. Very good button, both horizontally and vertically for Bridget. Speaking of which, into a low. Already queued up the special move, so couldn't quite break into the aerial Roger Super. But that means we can unleash it in the next screen. Oh, but the jump slash from Detada, working with a really nice angle. Wild Assault, sending some counter play immediately after the burst. Wants to desperately work Life into the corner, hops over the yo-yo. But unfortunately, that was one of the errors that you're usually not the most excited about. It's the one that Detada is working with right now. Oh no, but doesn't get to utilize it. Tragedy Storms Detada was looking to potentially utilize which one he had. I think had the flames, or was it the bomb head? I always forget like which special move produces which error. I think it's Malfunction produces the flames and the Beyblade produces the head. Or the bomb, rather. From the back dash, get a mash out. Ooh, cut the back dash here with a too heavy. So a nice little corner carry. 5D works in tandem with the error, so that's gonna be an auto confirm into a wall break. Got the backdash here. Detada fully loaded on the meter. So rare footage of Detada actually having the resource, absolute resource lead, and you can see where it leads to. Still has another one. Life literally can't do anything. You can't commit here. The tracking of those lightning, those red lightning fire, lightning bolts, red lightning bolts. Just way too much. Good blocks on the overhead and the challenge here. Exactly where the doctor ordered. Life unleashing the DP. Reversal. One of the first of the set. I mean, I guess we've seen a couple once, but it's been quite patient with that tool so far. Detada with 50. But I think you have to take into consideration how much life does your opponent have, how much life does Life have. Goddamn, this edition of Bounty Hunters is punny as hell. But like, you probably don't want to go into this game plan until your opponent is around this life. Like, look at how much health this Life have left. This is kind of the threshold where you can start threatening like one lightning bolt kills or chip kills even. Yep. But if you start this portion of your game plan when the opponent already still has a lot of life left, then it just... I don't know how to describe it, but like veteran fighting game players know how it usually gonna revolve. Like you're gonna do a little damage for a huge investment, and then you're gonna be down on resources. You're gonna lose the resource management metagame, and you are very likely to lose the game after that as well. Still gets the loop. Off the loop. Now into the mix-up. Overhead is the name of the game this time, and Detada just can't justify bursting anymore with that little amount of life left. I should, to be perfectly fair, for clarity's sake, I should say health when Leif is one of the players. Trying to leverage the position of the yo-yo here. Oh, the bait onto the starship! Surprisingly little damage done though. Detada has been able to push Leif into the corner due to the baitage of the burst. And a big swing there on the malfunction. Has the error going. Just retreats it with instead. Yeah, because Leif has been very aggressive as soon as Detada gets a good error rolling. Has been very aggressive to swing with those pokes in order to try to nullify the error before it goes off. So this time Detada was like, nah, I'll just back off and punish your attempt to poke at me instead. Very low reward, but hey, again, if the opponent is low life, then you can afford to take low reward options as well. He's slowly transitioning into the zoning game plan. In we go. No! Was the thinking, I think, was Detada was counting on getting the tension, but literally one tension away from the RC. Here comes the last lifeline from Leif. No, there are so many lifelines. Oh my god. Why are there so many lives in all of these English words? Detada is actually coming back. I mean, not that I ever doubted it, but it is actually happening here live. Live. Sorry. Oh my, everything is live. Life is life. Na 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 na. Good blocks though for Detada, and then the 2P mash out of the corner. Gets into position, snipes him out of the sky with the 2 heavy. Lots of meter for Leif. Another 2 heavy snipe. We can end here, I think. I reckon. I should know. Yeah, even without the super, I think the idea was to go into the rolling movement and then cancel Roger. But sometimes even the cheaper play is enough, or the plan B is enough. Ooh, nice catch on the landing frames there. It's like one of my favorite ways of anti-airing in this game, or just about any fighting game. Not committing into the anti-air itself, but we're committing to an anti-air here for sure. Oh, baby, we are committing to a big one. Half of the remaining life from Detada gone. 75 life, or sorry, health. Into, we got the error. We got the wall break as well. Drop, I think that might have been a conscious choice to drop the combo before the wall break happens, because it wouldn't have killed, I believe. Which is why Detada realized as well. Mix up time. Into higher low. Oh, it's gonna be a throw. And Detada actually guesses correctly on that and breaks it as well. Install online. This is tough. This is tough. Even if Leif was to swing it too heavy there as soon as he saw that Detada was airborne, I think it would have just traded with a lightning bolt again. Unfavorably, that is, or as well. Because the mix-up machine, jump D into a low. Ooh, it's so cool that the low is with a heavier button as well, such as 2S. Definitely much better starter than 2Ks, which are universally quite pro-rated in Guilty Gear Strive. We get a combo going on here. Another guard crush from the error. And then some. Is it enough? The wall break. Ah, but the malfunction ends up whiffing. God forbid a machine has a good wall break after a high wall stick like that. Out of there, jump pet press, nice! Leif gets out of the way and punishes on the way down. Absolutely how you should deal with those dive kick kind of moves. And just like that. I say just like that before, because like 5 minutes ago, Detada was basically like, what, 5-1? Like basically 4 games behind. But has been able to get the engine rolling, engine roaring, engine going. I mean, does the bed thing have an engine? Ends up whiffing, but we have the 50 meter. We can play the FRC, able to maneuver with the 8-way air mobility of Bedman's outside of the too heavy range of Leif there. Lightning strikes twice. Says the wise man, we have an error here. Oh, I love that. Like basically reading the trajectory of where the flames come from as Detada was crawling forward on the ground. Should be a kill. Gets in the starship. It's been a couple of games since Leif has gotten a game win, but I think this is, if Leif gets a game here, it's once again like it feels comfy. It feels definitely comfy, right? Right? Copium? Get the low with the 2S. Mr. Rogers allowing Leif to dash into a position where that 2 heavy is available. Don't even have to break wall here. I love this perfect sequencing for Leif. Has to break here though. And just before the 50 tension was available as well. Unfortunate turn of events, but now take them out of the sky with the Roger. Oh, and the 2 heavy again. Look at that, just cleaving the air. I mean, what are you gonna do on Bedman's side? Are you not gonna go airborne? Like, are you kidding me? So might as well swing in there. Detada on their last legs. I was about to say Detada on their last life. I think I'm having some sort of stammer or what do they call it? A tick here. Okay, Leif going up 1 point at the most crucial moment, 6-5. Oh, nice snipe here. The jump slash from Bridget going online before any kind of error action can be mounted. There we go. Dash in, 2 heavy. If I ever saw a Leif play before, that would be it. Nice shimmy there. Backdash into 2S, counter hit through the wall. Detada not faced though. Swing with the bar slash. Forcing some bursts. And then... Ooh, look at the... Oh, wait. That looks kind of funny. Wait, does the lightning actually move during hit stop? Because that was a really... That looked really funny. It was kind of like Leif got the hit, the big Kusodeka counter hit, but then also at the same time was taking a hit himself during the slowdown. Anyway, about that. Oh, they got with a nice mix up there. The neutral jump into a low. Tap the 5D. Once again, powered up by error. Where are we going? Jump K. Hitting from both sides, maybe. Just that with basically a clean life bar still. To take this, like would have to make a comeback here on this round to round basis. He's still, still in the lead. Okay, advantage on life side. Blocks once again. And staying outside of that dangerous looking yo-yo spin that is too heavy. Once again, it's the too heavy. I've seen this sequence before. I've seen it. Chasing the backdash with the too heavy. Bringing it to the wall. Breaking. Reversaling. Leif is blocking. And now pressuring. And here comes some mix-uppering. If Leif can keep this going, it's gonna be lights out here. Yeah, but this is gonna give enough leverage for Detada. Way too much. I've got to say, Detada is probably the best Bedman player. Or rather, at least the best utilizing player of that install super that we've had on Bounty Hunters.
Duel
And this is a really good matchup to be utilizing that as well. It's just a perfect tool to swing the momentum in the neutral in your favor. Started with the 2 heavy counter hits. Goes for it again. Search, looks, steals the corner, and steals it back. Can you keep up with the unrelenting pressure that is Leif? Lightning, speed, gameplay. It could be over here. Is it gonna be though? Detada strikes back. Can't break the wall without with a super. Oh, this is a tough conundrum for Leif, or sorry, for Detada. 100 meter on Leif. That means a lot of FRC mix-ups from Kickstart My Heart. If he wants to. Counterplay here. Beautiful snipe. Set point Leif. Started with a round start 2B. Detada poking the high profile option from Bridget. Forcing pressure, we can set it up. Actually, Detada tried to mash there with the B buttons, but it recovered so fast that Leif's poke just couldn't get there in time. Waiting for a DP, doesn't come out. Trying to avoid the lever, the yo-yo. The install is active again. Here come the lightning strikes. Even the trade into the jump slash. That's not gonna be in Leif's favor. But you know what is in Leif's favor? This final Luigi moving in with the full burst bar while Detada has none. Started with a far slash though. Oh, lucky we had the burst. Lucky we had the burst that gives Leif a corner position. Don't blink now or you're gonna miss it. This is the last one of the evening. Leif has a good hit. Into Roger Super. Life advantage and soon to be resource advantages was wakes up with a 6B. That's a 9-frame safe jump, is it not? Is it not? Mixing it up with the left right. Detada actually in the lead. Anything can happen though. Roger doesn't track. Lightning does though. Oh no. Oh no, the chip kill! Detada plays it by the book. He had a game plan. He executed. He came back and he steals it. Are you kidding me? With the last minute steal as well. It was looking perfect for Leif all the way till the end. But then, oh my goodness. Never say never, even if you're down so many rounds. What a worthy matchup to finish the evening today. Absolute applause. Well played, both players. I was so stunned I didn't even put a point in Detada's account yet. There we go. That's 7. 6-7. Okay, I said it. That's gonna be all she wrote for tonight, though. What a rock and rumble kind of an evening. What time is it? Do we have any action going on Twitch side? Let's see. Before we wrap it up, though, if you want to sign up for these games, here's the usual shout out. You can join the Discord, sign up on the Google Forms, and we'll try to get you a good matchup that is both of your respective skill level as well as your with an opponent who is relatively close to you and therefore has a good connection to you as well. Guilty Gear Strive. That is the game that we're playing, and that is the game that I would like to view on Twitch. Anything cool going on? Any players we know? I take suggestions as well. So if you have your friend playing Strive or something like that, we could trade them for sure. I don't think I know any of these guys other than Hotashi, of course, but I think he has enough viewers to stay afloat. No events going on Eve. there, right? Yeah, it was actually a lit ass set. I would in fact argue that if either of these characters tickle your fancy, that might be a good matchup to go back and watch. Because that was an absolute banger. I don't know, I'm gonna rate like a random player here. I can't decide. I'm literally having a decision paralysis. As soon as the sort of the tension gets released, I'll just do one of these. All right, random raid. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next Sunday, 5 p.m. CET, as per usual, every single week for the foreseeable future. It's been a fun casting these games. I'm out. Stay safe. See you next week, and bye-bye.